We have a backyard panel of design experts. We're going to go over our favorite backyards. We've been doing this for over 30 years. We know our stuff. And by the end of this video, you're going to have all of the best ideas from all of us designers for your backyard space. Here we go. So quick introductions of our team here. This is my beautiful wife. She's been with me and helping me with my backyards for over, 27 years this year. 27 years married and has been my teammate in our backyard world. Then we have Natalie, who is our marketing manager and design expert. We have my mom. She doesn't want to be on camera very much. But she has been with the team for a long time. She's been helping me behind the scenes a little bit. You haven't seen her, but you've heard her voice a lot. She's been editing for us, but her specialty is backyard staging. And she is a staging expert, like a interior design, but on the outside, expert.
Thank you, honey.
You're welcome. Then we have Amara, who's been with us for how long now? 2 years?
2 years, yeah.
2 years editing. So she knows all of the properties. She definitely has her favorites that she's going to mention as well. And so here we go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take some of our favorite projects that we worked on, and we're just going to tell you what our favorite features are, and then we're going to show you what those are. So I'm going to ask my mom, she knows every property inside and out. She's going to start with some of her favorite properties and her favorite features, and here we go. Mom, what was the ones you liked? What are some of your favorite features that you've liked about backyards?
Well, I thought about projects, and one that I really thought is one of my favorites is Boaz, and because of it, the structure has a lighter wood, and they have white paint trim, which I think is really cool. But what they did is they put the square fire pit in, and then on two sides they put a seat wall and seat backs. So that's like 10 different seats around a fire pit. But right behind this one side, they put a bar right behind it, so people could be sitting behind the fire pit, watching the whole group, the fire pit, plus at the bar maybe eating some burgers. I mean, it's just perfect. And then the kitchen itself is in a long L, and so all that counter space. And if you've ever been, you guys all know, when we're outside barbecuing, we love all that counter space because you're a chef. You're trying to pick up the stuff and put them down. And anyway, I just really love Boaz. What did you all think about that property?
I personally love the bar, and I love how it acted as a seat wall for the fire pit because it was still very communal, and people that were at the fire pit could talk to the people at the bar. And then if you go to your right even a little bit more, there's the living room with the TV. So you have your own destinations, but people can still gather and talk to each other.
Yeah, I love that.
I guess any feature in any living space or outdoor living space that I always appreciate is like what you said, is counter space, especially when you are entertaining a lot, which are why people build these type of structures, is because that's the goal. It's to entertain, to be with your family. So anytime you get counter space and the flow of the kitchen that makes it easy in and out, but also storage, if there's a lot of storage. And I think if you have people, like Amara said, on one side of the bar, being able to interact with people, but they're not in your way, and you have storage, that's a home run.
The cool thing about that, there's a lot of storage underneath the grill, but they also put in a kegerator, and it's to the side, and it's not in the way of anyone, so people can go up there and help themselves. And right there's that window, and you can actually kind of pass things through to the inside. So as the whole kitchen set up, it's great. And do you remember why he made that, the Boaz? What was their number one reason?
Well, the family, they had a tiny little structure, so they left and they had this little tiny area that was undercover. So he wanted to expand it, but the biggest thing was to watch TV. He wanted to be outside watching the football game when he was grilling. So that whole thing was around watching the game.
I love to grill, but the one drawback was if I'm always outside grilling and there's a really good sports game, I'm gonna miss it. So if we could create a living space that gave us a little the best of both worlds, that was high on my priority list.
And I love that. I love the central theme of that backyard great room. It's an open floor plan, open floor concept, like interior house. Mm-hmm. You have everything in one awesome area. And all the things you mentioned, the fire pit, so everybody can be in one large area. and hang out a lot. I love that feature.
And then one last thing I want to bring up, instead of covering the entire thing, which they initially thought they would do, they only did one side
Yeah,
covered.
that's true. That was a good one.
And
yeah.
then they left the sun area because the sun was important. Apparently the dog loves to suntan.
Well, I recommended that. I said, no, it's going to be too much. You're going to darken your house too much if you cover that whole area. Just do this and then create the fire pit over there. And we nailed it with the design. They love that.
It's perfect.
You mentioned Duchesne. What do you like about Duchesne?
Oh, what is not to love about this property? It's so beautiful. It's truly the entertainer's paradise. This property was so plain, just completely blah. And the transformation is just amazing to me. The pool has so many cool aspects to it. The fire bowl feature and the water features along the backside of it. The stonework diving board is so unique and cool. The built-in hot tub, the hardscaping surrounding flows throughout this property and really carries you from one destination to the next. And there are so many destinations. The Fire Pit Island with the seat bench that pulls you further into the property and is perfectly located on that golf green. So you can chill by the fire or you can get your A game on. Like, I just love it. It's so cool. The covered structure is huge and provides ample space for the outdoor living area, the kitchen, the bar, and fireplace. And the fact that they have that huge, movie screen with the projector in there. So whether you're in the pool,
Yeah.
whether you're in there in the living area,
Which
the
is
outdoor
huge, by the
living
way.
area,
That's
it's
so big.
So big.
Yeah, and I like the way we did the fireplace there, and I like basically from every angle you are having pretty much a party picture, really. From, like you mentioned, the pool, the hot tub, you got the movie screen, you got sound like crazy. You should hear how good the sound is. So he really went above and beyond with just all those features. It's like you said, entertainment paradise.
And they put that little dining room or dining set here needs some roofing so that it actually, if you're out there making burgers underneath the covered structure, there's the dining table. They can be sitting there watching the swimming pool, the golfing. It's perfect.
What it took to bring that into reality. You got fire bowls behind the pool, you got water features behind the pool, you got pipes going through everything. It's a very difficult job to bring into reality. And you got the movie theater, you got all of you had to hide everything, but it looked amazing at the end.
Oh, it did. Spectacular.
So I was just asked what my favorite design that we've done, and by the way, design is a must. Please always think about design. My favorite design that we've done is this one here. It's the Spuck property, and it was spectacular. The reason I liked the design part of it so much is we did so many different spaces, and you know how I feel about destination. I love it. The pool house with the weight room and the bathroom. We did the fire pit. We did the hot tub area, little meditation area. We did the covered structure. I love that it was raised to try to help with some of the elevation that they're on an extremely sloped area. But then the bar table that had the fire in it, and I loved all the Core 10 steel, and so it's metal elements, and I love the different elements that we incorporated into this design. So that was my favorite. But while we're talking here, I just want to let you know, as the homeowner, I would love for you to challenge me to get a unique design. I mean, I really want to be challenged with a crazy, cool, unique backyard and show off our creativity and really what we can do, because we can really hit it out of the park with design, and then obviously I can't wait to see it into reality. What's your favorite?
One of my favorite properties, just for the pure fact that of how organized and neat and clean it is, just like you walk in and it's such a zen space, is Chow. Chow to me was, it went so well. They built this amazingly beautiful house in the Street of Dreams, and they had this lot of land, and they wanted it to fit their lifestyle, but also the style of their home. So the interior of their home, really, it just extends to the outside. And it just really, I felt like, encompassed who they were, but it also is super functional because they have large families.
What were some of the things that they did?
Well, I love the sunken fire pit. I love that. I think that was a really cool design idea because it really took you out into the yard. It separated you from the kitchen space a little bit, but you were close enough to still entertain. And then behind their outdoor kitchen, they had a really beautiful kind of private sun bathing area. The double fireplace, all of that was just, to me, it was just very well thought out, well designed, and it just fits so well with their property.
My favorite of that is the atrium. I love that
Yeah.
atrium. That is really,
The
really
indoors,
nice.
yeah, the indoors to the outdoors.
Who has an atrium? And one of the reasons they put that there is because they had a koi pond in their last backyard. We did their other backyard, which was so cool too. But they had such a hard time with raccoons and other animals trying to eat their koi. So they always had to have this netting or this weird stuff over their old koi pond. And so they said, let's move it inside at this new residence. It's so beautiful when
It's
you go
so
in
pretty.
there. I mean, it's an incredible home, but that backyard living it's perfection.
I like
Yeah.
the swings. The
swings were
that-
great,
The swings were really cool.
Very
element.
custom.
Yeah.
And it just fit everything so well. And I love the
lineup.
pass-through window, the way they incorporated it, because their kitchen butted up to the outdoor living space, and it was just a really ingenious way of doing things, and it just flowed.
But they had a
beautifully.
cool pop refrigerator,
Yeah.
and they have a pizza oven, and they
Yep.
have so much counter space. It's so perfect.
And I think that's maybe why I really enjoyed it, is because they have so much counter space, but yet they still have access to their indoor kitchen, which is to me is such a huge deal. It's counter
is that
space.
a jet going
That's
Oh,
by?
yeah.
That's not. So another question for all of us here is, what is your favorite unique design feature that we've done? What would you guys say? What was some of your favorites?
I love Reeser property, and
Okay.
I'll tell you why. Because that is such a ginormous property, and the way you had to allow nature around it to stay that way, but then you condensed it down into this beautiful area that overlooked everything that was available to the eye.
And North Plains.
It was just fantastic.
What were some of your favorite features of all
Oh,
of
the
them?
the plunge
Hot tub
pool.
and plunge pool?
Just the colors. I think that was my favorite feature because of the view that he had.
But if you weren't in the plunge pool or the spa, because that was a double, you could be sitting there at their bar right there that overlooked the property. And right beyond that was these beautiful tower water feature bubblers
Yeah.
that were streaming past the bar right near the hot
underneath
tub.
the walkway.
Underneath the
the
walk-
walkway
yeah.
went over. Yeah.
Amazing.
It was over the
Beautiful.
waterfall.
And
It
then
was
over
so
the
cool.
waterfall
Yeah.
that went down to the second level, and the second level was a huge
Covered structure.
Covered structure with-
Destination, fireplace, bar,
Yeah.
outdoor kitchen, pizza oven. Just the best.
Amazing.
Yeah.
His property was unique, but the way it was designed to keep that was amazing to me.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah.
And what was yours, Amara?
One of my favorites was Thomas. I think there's a lot of unique features, just the property in general. There's a lot of history there. But I loved the fire pit that's kind of like tucked away in the corner. It almost looks like a patio, but it's basically connected to the wall that was already there. I love the seating. I think that providing the handle for people so it's safe for them to get on there, but it also acts as a seat. And you can walk down and there's a pergola where you can sit and look at all the nature, and then you go even further down and there's a gabion wall. You can read, relax, do whatever you need to do. So I think the way that that was designed, it was really versatile. Also gave the homeowners that sense of nature that they really wanted.
I love it. And I love what they did with their play area underneath the deck. I
Yes.
mean, it was a whole kids ninja zone. which
The
was
warrior
really
area,
That
yeah,
was
that was
cool.
cool.
And then I also love that we tucked, this was added later because they were like, hey, let's attract more nature. And we added that water feature at the end of the stairs.
that.
And I think that was an awesome feature. And when we
beautiful.
were there filming, birds were like everywhere. It was so cool. So
it was
cool.
very cool.
And what was your favorite, Mom?
You know, I just have to bring up the Taurus property because it was North Portland, a little urban little piece of a small yard. And they made a privacy wall that they turned into a vertical plant wall. Then they had this cool wood structure over their grill, but it was all custom wood all the way around that with built-in benches that they could store things in, but it was just so perfect. The flow was so nice. Then they had one pole that came down near the home. We turned it in, designed it to be a bar. So you have this beautiful little space just in a little nook, and it's perfect. All the destinations, you can imagine them coming out, going around that fireplace with all their friends. Someone could be at the little bar, someone could be deep in this corner near the ice bucket. Anyway, I love that property.
I love it. Thank you. And Natalie, what was your favorite one?
Oh, for unique, I would say I'm going to stick with specific features though, because I like stuff that you don't see in everybody's properties. And there's a few things that I really, really like. The Spuck property, their fire table in their kitchen is just so awesome. And it's not something you see everywhere. There's a couple other things that I really, really like that I think are unique. Actually, your property, Micah, and eventually people will get to see this, maybe not yet, but I love the resort style swings that you're putting in, and you guys will have to wait because you're not going to get to see it just yet. But that's something just so unique and so cool that you don't, it attracts your friends. Nobody else has it. And then your little gaming area that you're putting in, your competition zone, like you see, yes, cornhole or this or that, but everything, you don't see that. The axe throwing, the darts, all that kind of stuff. It's so unique and it's so fun for a backyard.
Perfect. I love it. So from these 11 top ideas from experts to the biggest mistakes that people make, check out this video and you'll be amazed at the top mistakes homeowners make when they try to do it themselves. Enjoy.